chances are you've seen him before. A guy with an oddly stiff posture, an expression that looks permanently confused, and a way of moving that feels just a little too robotic to be real. That's Chit, the internet's favorite awkward coworker, a character who somehow managed to go from a simple TikTok experiment to a full-blown online phenomenon. People shared his clips everywhere, and for a moment, it felt like Chit was just part of the cultural wallpaper of TikTok. But what's strange is that even though millions of people recognized his face and his strange, stilted mannerisms, almost nobody knew anything about the person behind the character. Not his real name, not his background, not even where he came from. And that mystery has always been a big part of the appeal. Chit started gaining traction through short TikTok videos where he played the role of this bizarre, socially uncomfortable coworker you can't exactly place. He didn't talk much. He didn't need to. The humor came from his body language, the weird pauses, and the way he seemed to react to normal situations as if he were an NPC in a glitchy video game. People found it hilarious, not because it was complicated, but because it was so simple and recognizable. We've all known someone who acts just a little bit like that, or at least someone we can imagine behaving that way. The character worked because it sat right between real and unreal, and TikTok's short-form nature made it even more effective. Each clip was a tiny slice of absurdity, easy to share, easy to remix, and perfect for the platform's attention span. What's interesting is that Chit didn't stay on TikTok. Eventually, he expanded to YouTube with a channel called The Chit Show, where he posted longer videos, including one where he talked about the origin story behind the character. These videos made one thing clear. Chit is indeed a character, intentionally created and performed. That alone makes him stand out from many viral TikTok personalities, who often go viral simply by being themselves. With Chit, everything is deliberate. The voice, the gestures, the pacing, it's crafted. And that crafting makes him fascinating. It also creates a certain distance. Viewers don't connect to him as a person, they connect to the role. But that's exactly why he became memorable. He wasn't just another TikToker making relatable jokes. He was a strange little universe existing in his own logic. But here's where things get even more interesting. Even though you can find Chit on both TikTok and YouTube, and even though there are videos where he talks about the character, there still isn't much public information about the person behind it all. No major interviews, no big media coverage, no detailed backstory confirmed anywhere. And that lack of information is unusual, especially in a time when influencers often overshare every detail of their lives. In Chit's case, the silence creates mystery, and the mystery creates a kind of magnetism. People want to know more. They want answers to questions that never really get addressed. Who created this character? Why was he made? What does the performer think about the sudden fame? The audience doesn't get those answers, and maybe that's why the fascination lasts longer than expected. Over the past year, a lot of similar TikTok characters appeared. NPC streamers, AI-inspired personas, robotic influencers, and strange, exaggerated personalities made specifically to catch attention in a crowded feed. Many of them went viral for a moment, then disappeared as quickly as they arrived. The fact that Chit remained recognizable, even after the initial wave, says something about the way he stands apart. His content is not based on shock or fast trends. It's more like a strange comedic performance that exists outside the typical TikTok ecosystem. What's unique is that Chit doesn't owe the internet an explanation. Because he's a character, not a public figure, there is no expectation of personal transparency. That makes him unpredictable in a way most influencers can't get away with. There's also something deeper going on. The rise of Chit fits into a bigger pattern online. People are drawn to characters who behave almost like NPCs, non-player characters, because they feel familiar and unsettling at the same time. In a world where everyone is trying to look perfect, authentic, polished, confident, A character like Chit sticks out by being the total opposite. He's awkward, stilted, strange, hard to read. It taps into something Gen Z especially loves: the aesthetic of being intentionally weird, the appeal of being unserious, the vibe of playing a character instead of performing your real self. And because his personality is constructed, it becomes something the audience can project onto, laugh at, imitate, or even analyze endlessly. Right now, the biggest question is whether Chit will return with a new wave of content. TikTok culture moves fast. Trends peak and disappear within days. A character who doesn't post consistently risks fading out of relevance. But on the other hand, because Chit never relied on personal drama or daily updates, he has the freedom to step back and reappear whenever. His identity isn't tied to constant posting. His identity is the character, and that character can always come back. The mystery surrounding him means audiences remain curious even if he's been quiet for a while. And that curiosity is extremely valuable. Most creators burn out because the audience gets tired of seeing them. With Chit, the absence actually fuels the interest. So what really happened to Chit? The most honest answer is not much publicly. He hasn't made a dramatic announcement, he hasn't disappeared from the internet, and he hasn't been involved in any scandals. The truth is simply that his posting slowed down, and the internet filled the silence with speculation. If anything, Chit is a perfect example of how a character can stay relevant even when activity drops. People remember him because he left a strong impression. The awkwardness, the uniqueness, the strangeness, it all works together to make him unforgettable. And whether he decides to return with new videos or leave things as they are, his impact on early TikTok culture remains. As you watch this video, think about why Chit stuck in your memory. Was it the humor, the character, the weirdness, or the mystery behind it all? And consider this: in a digital world obsessed with authenticity and personal branding, maybe the most refreshing thing is someone who gives you nothing to analyze except the performance itself. No overexposure, no daily updates, no real identity to unpack. Just a character doing what a character does. If Chit ever decides to come back, the internet will notice, because you can't forget someone who never fully revealed themselves in the first place. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious world of Chit and want to see more videos about the creators and characters shaping online culture, hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think happened to Chit and whether you want a part 2.